So in today's video, we've got some E36 updates. So I've just been getting it ready for the track. Got a brand new windscreen installed. Absolutely delicious piece. But then, I was having a look at the cooling system and I was just having a bit of a look at it and I thought, oh geez, is that hose on properly? And anyway, it snapped off. Just an old plastic tank, and it also did look like it was going to go sooner rather than later. The expansion chamber. So today we'll be replacing this as well. It's going to be a really nice, really exciting video. So I went and purchased a pristine aluminium radiator. It also comes with an aluminium expansion tank as well, which is really good, so it shouldn't break or snap off like the OEM ones do when they start to get a bit old. So yeah, so this is going to be quite an exciting thing. Not have to worry about it. Alrighty, stock one's out. As I'm sure you can see, it's not in the best nick. Something else that I'll also be doing is I'll be deleting this viscous fan, or whatever you want to call it. These viscous fans, they take up so much power. There was a study that I was looking into the other day where some of these viscous fans can rob up to like 15 horsepower. And on some of the bigger V8s, like some of the LS cars, people are reporting like close to 20 horsepower, which is just nuts. Anyway, I'm going to delete it. You don't really even need it. You'd only need it if, once you're going above 40 k's an hour, you don't need it. It's more that if you're in traffic, but this is going to be a track car, so I don't need it. If I'm idling in the pits, it might start to get a bit hot, but you can always just turn the car off. So it's really not that big of a concern. So anyway, I'm just going to delete it for now. Alrighty. E36 radiator is in. Nice aluminium unit. Lovely day. Had to do some jerry rigging up for a coolant adapter. I don't have a hose clamp for it. I'll get one tomorrow. But anyway, I was more just keen to see if this would actually hold pressure and if it leaks. Didn't leak from there. So anyway, that's delightful. In other news, I also need to make some sort of intake for this. I might even put a thermo fan on the radiator, even though you don't really need it if you're driving, but it might just be something that's worthwhile doing. So I'll look into that. I will probably also look into adding a coolant temperature sensor, like an actual universal one that you plumb into the system, so you can actually see what the reading is and not just sort of guessing, because the actual gauge is not, like most car coolant gauges are not actually that accurate. They just give you an estimation. So yeah, I'll probably do that. Get some coolant fans, or maybe even just one. There's a few other things that I also need to do on the car. Well, it's pretty messy back here, but you get the vibe. I need to make a battery bracket to hold it in place. Another problem is this fuel line is decaying. Now I know there's a zip tie there. Yeah, I know it's not very good, but I actually need to replace that fuel line. So that fuel line it runs across to the other side and then down and then all the way to the front. I also need to clean all this up. It's much better than what it was. I got a vacuum and sucked all the sound deadening out, at least a lot of it. So there's that. A big problem. So with the seatbelt, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that for some reason, now that may not look too bad in theory, but if you think about the fact that this comes up to where your belly is and then this shoulder strap has hardly any support. So anyway, I think someone put a universal one in there. But anyway, I need to sort that out, which means that I need to sort out either replacing this with a like for like, which would never be the end goal, or I can actually put a harness in. Then that brings on to the problem with the roll cage, or just the lack of it. It's hard to mount harnesses. Now it's not that bad. There's a few different points here. There's one over there that you can use, where I can probably drill and add an eyelet. The problem is that you don't want the angle from where the seat would be to be on more than a 45-degree angle, and it would be pretty close. Well, Legally it's 45 degrees, like most categories won't let you even run. Ideally you want it less than 10 degrees, but anyway, that's not here or there. I could potentially make something with these reinforced points as the shoulder straps for the harness. But if I'm going to the trouble of doing a harness, this seat's pretty crap. Apart from the fact that I just don't like it, it's just not very supportive. So then that brings on the issue with seats, or just a seat, and you need ideally an FIA approved seat because then you know it's safe. And then you need a seat bracket and then rails, or at least a side mount. Anyway, it's just all money. But then I just don't really want to do the seat, the harness, and the roll cage all in one hit, because that's going to be like probably at least $4,000 at least. And that's probably buying the cheapest stuff that's actually safe, like not knockoff from like a decent brand sort of stuff. So anyway, now you get them the big jobs, but yeah, stay tuned. We've had some progress in this video. There's going to be a lot more coming soon. Stay tuned.